Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So as you can see, we got something really cool laid out on the workbench here. This is a full new head unit from Idoing for the F150. This is for years 2015 up to 2021. If you guys are familiar with the brand Idoing, I actually used their head unit in my 2017 STI. I used it for 5 years before I ended up selling the car. I sold it with it actually, and it performed flawlessly. Idoing reached out to me and was like, hey, we have one for your truck. Are you interested? So they sent this on over, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look how large the screen is. Got all the controls down here as well. It's pretty nice quality. Everything feels good. All the buttons feel nice, so it doesn't feel cheap or anything. You do end up getting all of the different connectors that you may need. Now, you're not going to need all of these, but some of them you will need. I'll kind of walk you through everything that's going to be needed, but it's a really simple install. This is just literally a plug and play setup. So if we look on the back here, there is not much that needs to be connected, just a few connections back here that plug right into your factory harnesses and things up there that we need to plug in. But I'll walk you through it. The overall unit feels nice and heavy. It's not something cheap. So I'm really excited to get this in. Now, you guys may know I did upgrade from Sync 2 in my 2015 F150 to Sync 3. I got CarPlay in it and everything. Works well. I haven't had issues. But this is a little bit more advanced, and I'm looking forward to trying this out and seeing how it works. Plus, the big screen is just going to modernize and make the truck feel that much newer. Give me a few more functions, a few more creature comforts and everything. So I'm excited to get this installed. All right, so this is what I currently have in the truck. This is the Sync 3 upgrade. Again, it's been great. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. I got CarPlay now, but it's just outdated in comparison to the newer Fords and just other cars on the road and everything. So this is actually going to replace this entire piece in the middle. You don't have to reuse your HVAC buttons or anything like that because it already has one on the Idoing. But this screen basically takes up this entire space. You pop out these buttons actually and you use them on the new one and everything. So it's going to be a really, really nice setup. The vents and everything stay, but it's a really simple install. So let's go ahead. Let's remove the stock unit. Pretty self-explanatory. You got to pop off that speaker cover. That comes off, and then basically this whole piece pulls off. A few screws to remove. So let's go ahead and get started and get this one removed. All right, so we got the top cover removed. All we had to do was pop up the sides here. I just used the included pry tools that come with the kit. And then you remove the speaker cover in the back here. And there's two 7mm in the back. Unscrew those, and we have access to the whole entire back side of the stereo. Now there's two 7mm here. We're gonna remove those. And then this piece backs away, and we're just going to unplug everything. So pretty simple to get to. So let me go ahead and remove those, and we can get this whole entire unit out of the truck. All right, so we got the whole bezel out. If we turn around, there's a few things that we need to remove. This harness, two up here, and then it comes free. The ones up here, there's a little tab on the inside. Same thing on here, and they slip out. This one is a little bit tougher, but you just push up on the bottom. Same thing here, push up on the bottom, and these all come out. So as you can see, all the wires just hanging out here. We're gonna be reusing all this stuff with the harnesses supplied with the Idoing. Now that we got the actual bezel out, there are 6 7mm on either side of the bracket. Remove those, then we can unplug the screen in the back and set that aside. All right, so we got everything out that we need to. I got to check, I believe, yeah, this wire I need to remove. This is for the Sync 3. It's actually the GPS antenna, so I just need to clip that zip tying and this can come out, so we don't have to worry about that. But let's go ahead and head over to the workbench. I got everything laid out over there. The only things that we need to get ready and transfer over to the Idoing unit are the traction button right here and the hazards. So that actually goes on top right here. So there's holes right there. I forget what the other button's for, but there's a blank here. You can pop that out if you have the third button on your bezel, so you can use that as well. But in order to swap them out, there's just some clips on either side. You pop them out and then you throw them into that. All right, so we got the buttons out. As you can see, the little tabs on either side, you just push it in and they come this way out of the bezel. So now we're simply just going to pop them into here like that. Fit perfectly. Same thing for this one. Clips in perfectly. Love it. All right, so it's been a little bit. I've been playing around with it. I wanted to make sure I had everything connected properly. It looks crazy right now, but essentially you're using all of the plugs, all the connections and everything. These right here go to the hazard button and the traction control up there. Now, as for the reverse camera, you're gonna be using this wire right here, and then the one that says cam. So you plug that in, reverse camera works. For the fan, you want to plug this in off of the harness that's connected to the actual fan right here. As you can kind of hear, it's on. The one thing I realized you need to do is take the CD player out, and there's two plugs that we need to utilize, and those are back there. So you remove the two large plugs and then plug them into the harness that is provided, and everything works properly. Air conditioning works, CarPlay works. It's a beautiful screen. I'll show you guys in a little bit, I promise, but I just wanted to mention all the connection points because it is very confusing with all the wires, but once you plug everything in, you know, all the harnesses only go into certain plugs, so you can't really mess it up. It took me a little while just to kind of figure out all the plugs and everything. Now, the one harness that you don't use, at least for my application, was this one. I believe this is for front cameras or something else. I'm not 100% sure. But I didn't end up using this. I didn't find a plug that this connected into, so I don't think I need it, but it does come with it. So if anybody knows what this is, let me know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned up, put back into place, and then we can start playing around with all the functions of this thing. I will say I'm very impressed with it. It's very fast. CarPlay, everything works perfectly. The HVAC little buttons here and everything look amazing, function perfectly. You got them down here as well, which is great. I love the actual hard buttons as opposed to on the screen. So yeah, really cool. But all right, let me get this back together and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so it's actually been a few days since I installed this. What I wanted to do was get some real life experience, kind of go through the motions, kind of get everything set up the way that I like it so I can properly kind of walk you through this whole thing. I will say I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. It honestly fits and looks like an OEM piece. There's no weird gap or anything. Everything fits perfectly. I posted a shot of this while I was driving the truck the other day on my Instagram, and people were commenting saying that they wouldn't even have noticed this was not an OEM piece if I didn't say anything. So good on Idoing for making it look absolutely perfect, making it look like an OEM piece. The finish on this is very, very well done. It looks just like the OEM piece. And yeah, I'm just really, really happy with it. So what we're actually going to do is I kind of walk you through some of the functions and kind of the setup and everything of what I did to kind of get mine the way that I have it set up. But let's go ahead and just turn it on. So just going through the motions, it's already connecting to CarPlay. Since I already have it connected and everything, the wireless CarPlay connects instantly. So I have no problems there. And it's just awesome. I absolutely love it. I love the size of the entire screen. So everything is super fast. So when I click home, it goes right there. I'm gonna go back to Z-Link for CarPlay. It's instantaneous. As you can see, we have two ways of actually adjusting the air conditioning, the heating, which is great. I prefer the hard buttons that are down here, but I'm finding myself using this more often. So in order to turn this on, if you reuse this, all you gotta do is press the off button. As you can see, the little fan went on. And I don't know if you can tell, but the fan is on right now. Obviously the truck's not on, it's just an accessory mode. And then we can go to here, and this is the actual climate area. We can do auto. My truck actually never had auto, and now I do. It's able to adjust where the air is actually coming out of automatically, which is really nice. AC works, so you gotta do is click on AC. You can also do it down here as well. Click on AC, click on the fan. It adjusts on the screen right here as well. You can change the temperature, go down, up, what have you. Again, I've been finding myself using this more often than using it down here. You can change the modes. So if you look here, it changes the positioning of the fan up or both on your feet and your face. In your face, then you got the defroster. You got the defroster in your face and on your feet as well. Same exact thing and same way that you would OEM with the stock buttons, but you can also change it here if you want as well. And this stands up for 8 seconds, and it goes back to whatever screen you had on. Obviously, you can change that to less or more if you want. 8 seconds I found is good enough time, but we're gonna go ahead and turn that off for now because we don't need it. Now, let's first go over the reverse camera. I know a lot of you are going to have questions on that. The reverse camera works pretty darn good. It is a little flickery, but I am noticing my battery has been kind of a little low lately. I do have it hooked up on the trickle charger right now, so that's probably attributing to that. So if you are noticing the flickering screen, most likely your battery is on the way out. I need to get a new one. As you can see up here, I only have 12 volts. Usually it's around 14. I'm in accessory mode right now, but I figured I'd mention that. But it's very, very clear. The one thing I want to note, if you first install this and it's, you know, all fuzzy and not working, all you gotta do is click on this little wheel right here. Then you get this little pop-up, click camera, and then you got to go over to NTSC. Unless you have an HD camera, which these trucks don't, you will not be able to see anything. So click NTSC and you'll be able to get the picture behind there. And I don't have the truck on, but when you move the wheels, the same exact function as it did stock. These things go back and forth as well, so you can see where you're going. All my sensors work, so if I'm backing up, they beep just like stock. And it's color coordinated as well to let you know how close you are with green, orange, and red. Red, you're hitting something. Orange, you're close. And green, you have enough room. So just like stock, really cool, really enjoy it. And then as soon as you take it out of reverse, it goes right back to the screen that you're at. So the screen dims just like it would stock. It dims when your headlights are on. So I turn the headlights off. You can see it actually get a little bit brighter. Maybe not on screen, but it actually got a little bit brighter since the lights are off. Now, if we scroll over to the next screen, we got all the different apps and everything you can use. This is Wi-Fi capable, so you can use your phone for hotspot. You can watch YouTube. You can actually mirror your phone as well. You got your radio, obviously. You got a really pretty insane, I forget how many channels this is. I think it's like 36 channel equalizer, which is crazy. I just put it on jazz because I felt like that sounded decent without having to adjust too much. But you can also change the surround sound. You can have a bass boost, your zoning. You can move it back and forth to where you actually want the sound coming, just like, you know, a stock equalizer, although this is a little bit more advanced. And you also have the bass filler as well, which you can add a little bit more bass. So pretty darn cool. A few different other things that you can use. Your music, you can load stuff on here if you would like, but I just use Spotify on CarPlay, so I don't really use much of this stuff. You can add more apps as well. So you got a bunch of apps that you can add on here, which is cool. I haven't really found a need for too much. Actually, I might throw Waze on there. So there we go. We got Waze if I ever needed it. You got your weather on there, which is nice. Siri works beautifully. I actually have my mic right there. I am going to integrate it into the OEM area up there, but I just put it there for now just to see if everything worked as I was going through the motions and everything, and it seemed to work just fine right there. I can hardly even notice it, to be completely honest. And when I had my STI with the Idoing unit, I had mine in the same spot and it worked well. It's nice and clear. I made phone calls on this and it works with CarPlay and texting and everything. So very, very happy with that. So to set this up the way that you want and make all the different changes, you can go up to settings here and you have all these different categories that you can go in. You can go in your network. As I mentioned, you can use Wi-Fi. I was watching YouTube in here the other day. Your display, you can change the different backgrounds and stuff if you want, you know, basic stuff. So your sound, you can change all that. General, let's see, there's so many different settings and everything. I actually put my car battery up here, the voltage up there, which is nice. I do have it up on my radar there, but I thought it was cool to have it up on there. So original here, you can have that's what I was talking about, the air conditioning display. You can have it up for 8, 6, or 4 seconds. I found 8 to be just fine. Reverse, now this is the area where you can change your camera as well. So if you go down to reverse system selection, this is where you can select your camera that you have. If you have an HD camera, you can try one of these, but for me, NTSC worked and I'm able to get a picture with that. I am talking to Idoing to see if there's a fix to make it perfectly clear and not glitchy like that. But then again, I'm going to see what happens when I get a new battery and if that changes at all. Your voice, you can use all this stuff with your voice selection and all that, personal, your accounts, and then you can go into systems. You can do system upgrades and everything like that if there's ever changes, a bunch of different stuff. Factory, this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you want to go in and change more settings, you can do that as well. That was from Idoing. People always ask the code. That is what it is. Very simple. And same thing with more. You got a bunch of different settings in here as well. You set up your Wi-Fi or your network and everything. Your colors and contrast you can change. I mean, there's so many things you can do. It's pretty insane. I've been playing with this thing for the last 2 or 3 days, and I'm still haven't touched everything. It's pretty insane. So this whole thing could actually hold 48.48 gigabytes, which is impressive. So if you want to put movies on here, music, what have you, you can do that. So if we go home, you can actually do more car settings here. So these are other settings that you can change. So your temperature unit. So obviously we're in the US, so we use Fahrenheit, we use miles per hour instead of kilometers. Celsius and all that stuff. You can change the Fahrenheit here. So temperature units, you can actually change it to Fahrenheit. Obviously, if you have power folding mirrors and seat massage and everything, I turn my compass on. There's so many different things. You have lane keeping assist. You can play around with that. Now, Idoing did mention that if you are having issues with the reverse camera, make sure this is selected on. The bottom of the original car camera is set with a splash screen. I'm not sure what that did or not, but they told me to put that on, so I did. Tire pressure information, I haven't tried this yet, but I think you may be able to read that, although you may need the special tire pressure sensors that you put on the valve stems for that. I'm not 100% sure, but the options are literally endless for this thing. It's pretty incredible. And yes, all of your steering wheel functions work. So if I change the volume, so you can see me changing it here. If I have music on, I can press left and right. Obviously, I don't have music on, but you can change music. I didn't have to set anything. There's actually a setting somewhere in here where you can go to steering wheel controls. I forget exactly where, to be honest, somewhere. And you can change that if you want, but all the functions work exactly the same. So as I mentioned, just the volume, you can change the modes and everything. See, as you can see, it's changing music. It's changing to video. I don't know what that is. There's a video. Change the Bluetooth. I mean, anything that you want it. It's just, honestly, just like stock. Also, really another quick note I wanted to mention, because in the STI, the USBs, the factory USBs didn't work after you use the Idoing unit. But as you can see, I have the USBs down there. That's the OEM ones for the Sync 3. If you turn them on, lights turn on, they work and function just fine. No problems whatsoever. Figured I'd mention that since I know a lot of people had questions with the STI on how to get your factory USBs to work, but these work no problem. Another cool thing that I absolutely love about this entire unit is that they give you an actual knob for the volume. So I'm able to adjust that. You can also adjust it here. I could also adjust on the steering wheel, but having a physical knob is super important to me, and I'm really happy they decided to keep that. It looks really clean. You can tune right here with your radio and stuff like that. All right, so I'll show you the Wi-Fi connection if you guys are interested in that. Let's see, network, turn that on, and then it should connect automatically. I have my hotspot turned on currently. So as you can see, it just connected to my iPhone. So now if I go back, I can go on YouTube and it loads up, and I can watch everything that I watch. I can go my subscriptions and see everything that's ready to roll. Again, you can just drive and have this on as you're cruising, which is really nice. Absolutely love it. I think it's awesome. I know my Idoing my STI, I was able to do that as well, but having it in the truck is just amazing because I'm super comfortable. Ton of space, and I can just watch and hang out if I'm hanging out in the truck or whatnot. My kids are in the back and they want to watch something. Really, really cool. Also, if you have an amp in your truck, you can select that. You can actually adjust from your amplifier as well. They have wires in the back that you can connect certain things up to as well. I don't have one, so I thought that was pretty cool, but you can check out the fans functionality and how things are working and everything. I have it, it's always on to keep everything cool. So really nice to have that as well. So also up here, you can swipe down. You got a few different selections up there as well. The brightness, the volume of everything as well. And then you can go here and you got all your tabs open. As you can see, it's really fast. It's, you know, not laggy whatsoever. Another thing that I was concerned about as well is that I have auto start in here, and I was wondering how that would work with, you know, an aftermarket unit. So in order to get that working, I had to go into car settings here, and I went down to activate remote start. So if you go there and select that on, your HVAC will turn on when you remote start. Otherwise, it wasn't doing it, and I was scratching my head, and so I was looking around, and I found that little check mark or that little switch, switched it on, and it worked perfectly, so we're good there. So to get to the screen mirroring, all you do is click the T-Link 5, and then you can go to this button right here, and you got your wireless mirroring as well. So if you want to mirror your phone, you simply can do that and watch whatever that you can on your phone on here, which is really cool. And you got all the settings and everything here of the different modes you can change over to, which is really, really nice. But I prefer CarPlay, and it works great. It's wireless as well. I just put my phone on the little off-road mount here, and I'm on my way listening to music, using Google Maps, what have you, and enjoying this thing immensely. But yeah, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I absolutely love this entire thing. It is such a beautiful design. The screen is super, super clear. The entire size of it is 12.1 inches. Fantastic. Huge shout out to Idoing for sending this out to me, letting me try it out, and just going over the install and everything for you guys. Now, I know all the wiring may be a little confusing and kind of overwhelming looking, but each plug goes into its respective receptacle, so it's not like you can mess anything up. Just kind of go through them all, make sure everything's plugged in. The only one that you don't use was that one wire I showed you, and otherwise everything works and functions perfectly. There's nothing I really had to do to this. All the buttons up here work as well, so we got the hazards obviously working just fine, and then the traction control, I don't think it turned on and off right down there, so everything works great. And if you turn the lights on as well, the little lights come on down there as well, and you can kind of see it dim. So it's an absolutely beautiful unit. I am so thrilled with it. Obviously I'll report how things are going over the years and how how it's performing and all that, but I really don't see it being an issue. Again, I had my Idoing in my STI for over 5 years. Never had an issue. It never glitched on me. It never froze, nothing. I got in every single time and it worked, which was fantastic. So I'm expecting the same from this, if not more. It honestly is a nicer looking unit than my STI, to be completely honest. You get all the functionality and everything down there as well, so I couldn't be happier. I'm going to leave a link below if you guys are interested in picking this up. This is for a 2015 to 2021 F150. They do have a ton of different models and versions and everything for your truck or car as well, so it's not just F150s. But if you're looking to pick one up, use the link below. It really helps me out. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions at all about how to install it or any of the settings or anything like that as well, please leave in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.